Straight ahead on WBKB, the FDA has approved the first new treatment for Alzheimer's disease since 2003.
Plus, the Oscoda Airport receives a huge donation and a look at Michigan's teacher shortage. What will it take to fix the problem?
You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Tyler Cruz.
And I'm Sherry Stewart. We begin tonight with promising news. The FDA has approved the first new drug for Alzheimer's disease in nearly 20 years.
Yeah, and some are hailing it a victory for people with the disease and their families, but critics question if there was enough evidence to approve the drug.
This is a new type of treatment for Alzheimer's disease. Biogen's aducanumab is given by infusion every 4 weeks, and researchers say it targets the disease in a way that's never been done before. The Alzheimer's Association calls the FDA's approval historic for patients and their families.
It treats the underlying course of the disease. Amyloid is the sticky plaque that clogs up the brain. By removing that, it is assumed that the individual will have clinical benefit and improvements in cognitive decline.
6 million Americans are currently living with Alzheimer's disease in the U.S. Until now, other Alzheimer's drugs only manage symptoms.
This treatment ushers in a new era in Alzheimer's treatments. And we know that a first-in-class drug invigorates the treatment pipeline overall.
The decision to approve the drug comes despite objections from the FDA's independent panel of neurological experts. The Food and Drug Administration is not required to follow their advice. Dr. Caleb Alexander is an FDA advisor who recommended against the drug's approval.
I think the jury is still out on whether it works, and there's a clear standard that manufacturers have to meet in order to gain market access. And in this instance, I think that the evidence is still quite murky as to the safety and especially the effectiveness of this product.
The FDA is requiring the drug maker to conduct a follow-up study to confirm benefits for patients. The FDA could pull the drug from the market if the study fails to show effectiveness. Femi Redwood, CBS News, New York.
WBKB will have more tomorrow after speaking with the Michigan chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. Now here's meteorologist Ellie Morrison with a first check of the weather. Ellie, as we call it back home in New England, this weekend was a scorcher.
Tyler, it was super hot over the weekend. We had 94 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. Believe it or not, that fell short of record high temperatures for Alpena Airport, and it's humid today, part of the reason that we've seen some spotty showers and thunderstorms flaring up. At this moment, we are seeing some of those scattered showers, mostly north of Atlanta, between Atlanta and Rogers City, up into parts of Presque County. There were a few showers about an hour to half an hour ago over portions of Alpena County, although those have fizzled. Still quite warm this evening with temperatures in the lower 70s. Early morning lows tomorrow, starting off the day around the middle 60s. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll be heading up into the lower 80s. We're still going to have the high humidity around for tomorrow. I'll let you know when our next chances of showers and thunderstorms move in a bit later in the newscast.
Thanks for that, Ellie. We'll check back in with you in a bit. We now bring you some tragic news. A man is reported in critical condition after shooting himself in the head Sunday night. Around 9:30 p.m., deputies from the Alpena County Sheriff's Office responded to a domestic call at a home on US 23 South. When deputies arrived, they were met by a man with a handgun. The man put the gun in his mouth and left the scene when ordered to drop the weapon. Police were unable to find him and went back to the home to speak with witnesses. When the man returned with the gun, officers ordered him to drop the gun again. He put it back in his mouth, laid on the ground, and pulled the trigger. Officers immediately performed CPR, and the man was transported to Mid-Michigan Hospital, where he was last reported in critical condition.
Michigan State Police want your assistance in a recent vandalism case. The MSP is looking for several people who damaged property on May 9th at about 4:15 a.m. Two vandals spray painted several vehicles and garage doors at a business on 2707 Pearl Road in Alpena. Security footage shows them arriving in a four-door sedan, possibly with a third person as the driver. The vandals also graffitied multiple other properties. If you have any tips or information, you can contact Crime Stoppers. We'll have the number on our website.
Alpena County's regional airport made a pretty hefty donation on Monday. The airport donated a 20-foot runway sweeper to Oscoda's Wurtsmith Airport. The runway sweeper cleans debris and snow off the runway. Alpena Airport recently brought a new sweeper with federal airport improvement funding. Airport manager Steve Smigelski says the amount of funding depends on the size and type of airport. He says the donation to Oscoda will certainly help Wurtsmith use their funding for other improvements.
Oscoda is a general aviation airport, so the most money they can expect from the federal government is $150,000 a year. So what we're doing to help out our neighbors to the south is we're donating our 2004 20-foot runway sweeper.
Oscoda Airport says the donation is an upgrade to their current equipment.
Of snow removal equipment considerably. In fact, it'll be even though it's a 2004, it'll be the newest piece of equipment we have here. We are still using military surplus equipment that was assembled in the 1950s.
Smigelski says Oscoda Wurtsmith Airport staff came and picked up the sweeper earlier on Monday, and WBKB's Tiffany Maddox even got a chance to take the new runway sweeper out for a spin while at the airport. She says that big machine made for a really smooth ride. I'm not surprised.
It did.
Nonprofit organizations in South Bay are in collaboration with MDOT. They asked for the community's help for the 9th annual Cleanup Day.
Yeah, this once-in-a-year event brings the community together to clean up US 23. South Bay's organizer Larry Clark says improving economic conditions is their goal. Clark says the Plowman family puts flower pots out each year to beautify the corridor coming in. He says it's also important for the community to keep this area clean.
And this route coming in from the south is the most traveled route into Alpena. So it's everybody's first impression of Alpena, and we really want it to look as good as possible when they're coming into town.
MDOT asks that businesses on 23 sweep dirt and gravel off their driveway approaches. This helps save time on cleanup day. People will meet at the old Kmart building, that is, on June 15th at 9 a.m. Very nice.
That sounds fun.
Well, Michigan is facing a teacher shortage that has been looming for years. Observers say the pandemic further revealed how dire the situation is. Michigan Education Association President Paula Herbert was our guest on Insight Sunday. She says addressing the problem won't be quick, simple, or cheap.
Now that we know it, can we turn a blind eye to what we've seen? Can we say that we can treat educators poorly? Can we give them low wages, long hours, demanding work schedules, and not compensate them? Can we continue to afford to make student teachers pay for their apprenticeships?
The MEA has launched a new website so the public can hear directly from frontline teachers and other education employees about what's driving the crisis.
That was a great Insights program.
It
A
was.
really important issue, too.
Absolutely.
There's more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up, it's Mondays with the Mayor, and meteorologist Ellie Morrison has your 7-day forecast next.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and perfect ice cream weather, too, especially this weekend, and National Chocolate Ice Cream Day.
It is.
Perfect ice cream weather, and taking a look at our photo of the day. It was sent in by Gene Kowalski, principal of Hinks Elementary School, and Hinks had the ice cream truck surprise students late last week. It rolled up onto the playground with music going. Students and staff were able to choose whatever they wanted from the ice cream truck. Principal Kowalski says students were so excited, and the students said it was the best day ever. Thank you, Principal Kowalski, for sharing this photo with us. If you have a photo such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you would like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com.
I miss when the ice cream truck showing up would just make my day.
The ice cream truck showing up to Hinks, the ice cream showing up to WBKB, and I'm going to go and enjoy this cool snack.
Yeah, National
Usually I don't have
Chocolate Day.
dessert before dinner, but Well, we did do a poll on people's favorite ice cream. Looks
Right.
like Moose Tracks won,
Moose
Sherry.
Tracks, yeah, that's my favorite. So we've got Moose Tracks is in the running, Rocky Road, chocolate, vanilla, cookies and cream. What's your favorite?
Ooh, my favorite is going to be mint chip.
Mint chocolate chip, that's
Oh,
interesting.
Wow, okay, well, here we go.
Coming up on WBKB News, don't miss Mayor Matt Wallagora and Jake Vanderbrook will have the latest in sports. Stay tuned.
On this week's Mondays with the Mayor, WBKB's Tiffany Maddox sits down with Mayor Matt Wallagora to get details on the city's recent water and sewage rate increase.
Thanks again for joining us for another Monday with the Mayor. I am joined by City of Alpena Mayor Matt Wallagora. Thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So recently the City Council approved an increase for water and sewage rates. Kind of tell me what this means for residents.
So it dates back, I'll go back several years when we had a major consulting firm come in and basically studied everything about our entire system. And then they conferred with our engineering department, and their proposal was a pretty incredible rate increase in order to be able to sustain our system well into the future. Kind of talked back then about, you know, in 10 years, if we kept the rates where they were, we wouldn't really be able to operate our system. And then the state and federal government put some different, has put in a couple of different rules in order for what we have to establish for capital improvements over the years. And so rather than have that huge increase at the time, City Council decided to put it in steps and stages over many years. And so that's what we've seen. They started out right around the 5% range, if I remember correctly, and so, you know, we can expect our rates to go up at least a bit.
So the money is just used for water?
Absolutely, water and sewer, yeah.
You know, during the pandemic, a lot of people were out of work. There was, you know, issues with people making water and sewer payments. The water company is still working with people, although there was like a 90-day window to where things would be.
You can catch our Monday with the Mayor segments every other Monday right here on WBKB News at 6. Well, sports is coming up next, but first, Jake Vanderbrook is in with a preview. Jake, how's it going?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just eating my ice cream here. Next in sports, Alpena has announced their top male and female athlete of the year. You don't want to miss that. Plus, we have your extra inning top plays. Keep it here because the sports is coming up next. So yeah, that's sports.
That looks awesome. Good weekend for the Yankees too.
That was tough. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. I mean, hey, if the Tigers can sweep the Yankees, I figured the Red Sox could do the same.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Thank you for watching WBKB News at 6.
Visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
Join us tonight for WBKB News at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.